Philly, that was special. You see what I did there? Ah, yes. The NFL season comes to a close with a Super Bowl that 98% of America did not want to see anyway, matchup-wise, and it lives up to just being downright terrible. A blowout Super Bowl was Super Bowl 59. Kenny C back on the ones and twos. Welcome back to the Kenny C Show. Getting in here to break it all down for you guys, give a couple takeaways. A 40-22 thrashing of the Kansas City Chiefs. And in my preview video, I picked the Eagles to win. I said that one of the main keys to winning it was going to have to be getting after Patrick Mahomes and making him feel it. And boy, did they do that with flying colors. I don't think anybody expected the Chiefs to get the doors blown off of them in the way that they did in this game. Patrick Mahomes and Kelce, Travis Kelce on the sideline in that first half, you saw the glaze over their eyes. They were just like, damn, we're getting smacked right now. They got crushed. And just for the record, the last NFL team to technically three-peat, the Green Bay Packers, baby. It wasn't technically in the Super Bowl era, so we don't count it. But right before the Super Bowl era became the Super Bowl era, 65 seasons, 66 championship game, world championship, whatever you want to deem it, the Packers took down the Browns, and then they won Super Bowl I against the Chiefs and Super Bowl II against the Raiders. So technically they did three-peat, but it wasn't in the Super Bowl era. Yeah, whatever. The last team in North American sports history to three-peat was the Los Angeles Lakers, 2000 to 2002. We all know that was the Shaq and Kobe duo. Phil Jackson, the head coach. You had Jerry West upstairs as the GM, orchestrating all of that. But in this one, you had a team in the Eagles that was destined to get their revenge. From the get-go, both teams punt, but on the Eagles' second drive, Hurts leads them down the field, hits Jahan Dotson. You thought it was a touchdown. His knee was down, and then boom, they tush-push, and from there, they're off to the races. Hurts earns himself Super Bowl MVP honors with his stat line of 17 for 22, 2 passing touchdowns, 221 yards, 11 carries for 72 yards, breaking his Super Bowl record. The Super Bowl record that he set prior against the Chiefs in his last appearance. He rushed for 70 yards on that one. This one he finishes with 72 and that tush-push touchdown. And you look at Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley was largely neutralized by this Chiefs defensive front. So you gotta give credit to Spagnuolo there for his defensive front really containing Barkley. 25 carries for 57 yards. It was the Hurts show. They did exactly what they needed to do defensively, which was force Jalen Hurts to be that pocket passer / that elevator that he is, in the sense that he can make plays with his feet. And they made him test his arm strength, and he showed you with that dot that he had to Devontae Smith, this man can lead scoring drives. He can look confident. He can be a leader, and that's what Jalen Hurts did in this game. He really put on display, proved all the naysayers wrong, that he is a quality Super Bowl caliber winning quarterback. And you look at the other side of this thing, one of the other big keys, like I just mentioned, was that they needed to get pressure. They didn't even blitz. Vic Fangio, if I had to give the MVP, the Super Bowl MVP, to anybody, it'd be this defense as a whole, if you could. Because you look at the Josh Sweat game, the 4th round pick in 2018 by the Eagles, 2.5 sacks and 6 pressures for Josh Sweat. Milton Williams had 2 sacks, a forced fumble which he recovered himself against Patrick Mahomes. Jordan Davis with a sack. Jalix Hunt with a half sack. This team had 6 sacks on Mahomes. That is the most of his entire career in a single game. And they really got after him and made him feel it. And they blitzed 0 times. 0 times they brought the blitz. That was just strictly the nickel 4-man rush. 42 dropbacks for the Chiefs. They pressured them on 38% of the time. 38% pressure rate. The front 4 alone had 16 pressures. The defense as a whole, 25 total pressures, 11 quarterback hits. This was an absolute vintage clinic. This was something that Todd Bowles and that Buccaneers defense did in 2021 when Brady took down Mahomes in that Super Bowl. This was just absolute superb defense to a T. They tell you, defense wins championships. Everybody thinks that, the NFL's so, high scoring, it's all about offense. At the end of the day, a high caliber, championship caliber defense like the Eagles, when you have that, you are destined to win. This team is scary, and I guess my takeaway from the Super Bowl is this team is not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. You look at the performances by Cooper DeJean in the Super Bowl and Zach Bond and that entire defensive front and Quinyon Mitchell and Slay locking up their guys. This defense is here to stay, and this Eagles team is here to stay. You've got Saquon Barkley now for another 2 years at least, and he was an absolute phenom in this playoff run. This team is not going anywhere, guys. And you look at Mahomes' stat line in this game, 21 for 32, 257 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks, one of which was the Cooper DeJean pick 6 that really turned the tide for this game. And you thought, whoa, Mahomes is off his game. He is not getting that ball out nearly as efficiently as he needs to. They're really getting pressure on him without blitzing at all. That just baffles my mind that they were able to pull that off. But Mahomes was rattled from the get-go in this half. Cooper DeJean's 22nd birthday was the day of the Super Bowl. Same with Saquon Barkley. He didn't turn 22. I don't know his age specifically, but it was his birthday as well. And you look at Travis Kelce. He really did look washed. 4 receptions for 39 yards. Could this be the end of Travis Kelce? Did he play his final game in the National Football League? I want to know your thoughts. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below and let me know, because to me, he looked pretty washed up and he looked like he was done. But this team got dominated from start to finish. The first half, it was 24-zip. You had Kansas City with 1 first down in the entire half. They couldn't even get a first down, let alone past the 50-yard line. I think it wasn't until the back end of the third quarter, maybe the fourth quarter, that they finally got into the Eagles' opposing territory. The end of that first half, 23 total yards for Kansas City. That is the second fewest total yards in a first half in Super Bowl history. I mean, is this the worst Super Bowl that we have seen in over a decade? That's really my question for you guys. In my opinion, the first thing that came to mind when I saw this absolute clinic being put on display by the Eagles defense, I thought this has to be the biggest washout and the worst Super Bowl to watch as a fan, probably since 2014 when Peyton Manning got harassed by the Legion of Boom Seattle Seahawks defense at MetLife Stadium, and he fumbled the opening snap off rip. The snap went way over his head. From there, that game was signed, sealed, delivered. The coffin was shipped off back to Denver. This was probably the worst Super Bowl since then. Maybe you could even say the Buccaneers win in 2021 over the Chiefs, where they crushed them 31-9. I mean, the 2018 or 2019 Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Rams, where they beat them 13-3. I mean, the highlight of that thing was Justin Timberlake at the halftime show, which, by the way, in totality, this was the matchup that nobody wanted to begin with. It was a blowout in the first half, and in the second half, zero competitive nature in the Super Bowl at all from the Chiefs side of things. The halftime show, in my opinion, with Kendrick Lamar, mid at best. Nothing special if you ask me. I personally think Not Like Us is an overrated song and way overplayed. You can come attack me in the comments for that if you want, but that's just my humble opinion. I like old Kendrick. That halftime show to me was mid at best. And you got Serena Williams doing crip walks out here. What the hell are we doing? So, in totality, this Super Bowl was mid at best to me, and it was an absolute clinic by the Eagles defense. They put on display why they are here to stay. The Chiefs, what's next for the Chiefs? Because the AFC West is going to continue to get better. You got that AFC West with the Denver Broncos really making a name for themselves with Bo Nix and Sean Payton. And then you got the Chargers with Harbaugh. I'm sure they'll be back and they'll hopefully be better. That's a legacy thing for Herbert. They have to be better. He's got to improve. The Raiders, we'll see what they do with the quarterback position. They got a complete overhaul over there in Vegas. So the Chiefs are going to have some competition coming up. And that AFC as a whole is not getting any easier. You still got to deal with Baltimore and you still got to deal with Buffalo. And hey, for everybody out there saying that Josh Allen didn't get that first down, I mean, he did, and the refs probably should have given them that first down, because if the Bills were in this Super Bowl, I assure you, this probably would have been a way more competitive Super Bowl than what we saw in this game. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this entire thing, from the Super Bowl itself to where do you see the Chiefs going from here? Are they going to be able to get back to this promised land next season, or will it be Baltimore? Will it be the Bills? I'm going to give you guys my prediction. I think the Baltimore Ravens get into the Super Bowl next year. I think the Baltimore Ravens win a Super Bowl. I think Lamar finally gets that monkey off his back like Steve Young back in 1995. And I think they get it done. I mean, that's just my opinion. So I think the Ravens are going to be Super Bowl champions for Super Bowl 60. I'll make my early prediction now. This way, if I am right, we run the tape back when the time comes. I want to know your guys' prediction. Who do you think will be the Super Bowl? What's your early pick? What do you think about this game? What do you think about the halftime? Because this thing was an absolute blowout, and it was a snore fest. And to my knowledge, because I didn't really watch all the commercials, to be honest with you, the commercials weren't anything special either. So this one was just a washout. What do you guys think? Drop your comments, comment section below. Give me all of your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel. We got some hockey content coming up this week. Now that the football season is over, I'm going to deep dive into the NBA, into the NHL. We got baseball starting up, pitchers and catchers reporting. So all of this stuff is coming to fruition. And then obviously we got NFL draft in April. So stay tuned and stay locked in on the channel. Subscribe and drop a comment and a like on this video.